Well, it has been a minute since I've made another YouTube video, but here I am. And today I'm going to be talking about something that I'm really excited about. And I'm not just saying that as a YouTuber, like I've literally been trying to get this thing for almost 2 years. And that is I finally got it. My Crypto.com metal ruby steel debit card. I am no stranger to cryptocurrency. I have been talking about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin in particular for pretty much since inception of Bitcoin about 13 years ago. My buddies and I, we were talking about the concept of it back when it was less than $1. And that wasn't that long ago. It was only 13 years ago. And you can even look at some of my older videos where they're not titled Bitcoin, but like one was right after the Parker movie, which by the way is about to hit 43 million views and 9 years here in about a month. That'll have been 9 years ago. But in one of them, I was reading some fan mail and I was talking about Bitcoin in the video, which was about almost 9 years ago. I'm not going to lie, I've never fully grasped it. I'm still not an expert on it, but we were talking about it back then, and it was way more cumbersome. You think it's complicated now. It was way more complicated back in the day. They didn't have these handy little apps and on what they call the on-off ramps, the exchanges. There's lots of them. I've used several. My favorite one that I use is the Crypto.com app, and no, they're not sponsoring this. Nobody's sponsoring any of this. But it's taken me almost 2 years, almost 2 freaking years to get this. And that is not necessarily Crypto.com's fault. A lot of that, I guess I'll say it's my fault, but part of this has to do with what they call the KYE or KY, the information you have to give to find out who you are. It's like a double-edged sword. Some people don't like their information, other people having it, yet at the same time, they have to know who you are in order to protect your card and your crypto and everybody else's cards and everybody else's crypto. You be the judge on what works for you. I've been an advocate, even though I was criticizing Bitcoin there for a while because it was cumbersome and really confusing. Hell, there's even a video made probably 6 or 8 years ago about this guy explaining Bitcoin, and he's literally saying, Bitcoin, blockchain, Bitcoin, because that's what it sounds like to pretty much everybody back then, except for the super nerds. And yes, I am a nerd, but I'm not that big of a nerd. But anyways, you have to give your information. They have to know who you are. And again, it is annoying sometimes to me how long it's taken, partially because of the crap that I'm involved with the Attorney General and my own lawyer dropping the ball and not getting all my crap updated and my having to move. I mean, I think this is probably the 5th or 6th place I've lived just since I've gotten Blaine. The boat got sold, so that's good. Moved from the boat out to here to this little lean-to shack that I've got now that me and not only Blaine, but Hayden also is living here as well. Oh, I get off on these sidetracks. Speaking of Hayden, he just went off to look for a job now that he's been here, and he's a welder. He's got welding certificates, and he graduated, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago. And it's just so, being a dad, it's a feeling I can't explain. Parents out there who've had children my age, my kid's age, they know what I'm talking about. Like, he's big. He's like 6'2", and he's got long hair again down to here. And he's in his work clothes, and he's got these toolboxes, like Milwaukee toolboxes, like stuff that I used when I was still turning wrenches in the oil field. And he's just bouncing, just ready to get to work. And I'm like, oh, it's like bittersweet. Because it wasn't just yesterday. To me, it seems like he was a little kid, and I was putting him in his car seat and cutting his umbilical cord and holding his hand before he walks across the street. And now he's big, and he actually mocks me sometimes, lovingly, but mocks me. Like the other day, we were going to the gym, and I sat in the back seat. He and Blaine sat in the front, and he's put me in. He's got a little Toyota, so it's a little kind of cramped in the back. But he's getting me in. I said, oh, I'm good, man, I'm good. He starts to shut the door. He goes, now watch your hands, Daddy. Keep your hands there. You go, good boy. And it took me a second I was like, you're mocking me, aren't you? He goes, yeah, but that's okay, Dad. I still love you. It's just how you used to sound whenever you were buckling us up in the back seat. And I actually thought it's hilarious. Anyway, he's off, going to look for a job. Blaine and I are going to wait to go to the gym. And by the way, if I do say so myself, I am getting ripped. And I like it, like a lot. I hadn't had this type of muscle definition since I was in my 20s. Got back from a job about 3 or 4 days ago up in Orlando for about a week. Working there at there's a new wing going in the Orlando airport, and if you fly into there, you can partially thank yours truly for making sure the fuel is nice and clean, because we got it clean. So anyway, Blaine and I are going to wait on him to get back from all the different places he's got mapped out to go look for his new job, and I'm going to be talking about my new card. It's got my name on it, everything. And no, I won't flip it over on the back. And no, you can't see the CCV number on the back. It's there, but it's just the coolest freaking thing ever. Like, you get 2% back in CRO. Oh, he's already back. For everything you spend, you get 2% back. And I just started adding up all that I spend, and like for every $1,000, I get $20 back at the month worth of CRO. When I first started buying CRO, it was like 17 cents per Chronos. CRO is, they used to call it Crow, now they call it Chronos. But anyways, it's been up as high as almost $1. Now it's down back to around, I think 39 cents was the last time I checked. But it's, the crypto market's real slow right now. It's like there's a lot of unsteadiness, but that doesn't mean you don't get in it. In fact, this is the perfect time to buy. You want to, if this is your thing, you want to buy low and sell high, or preferably not sell at all. But the way I'm going to use it is I'm going to pay just all my regular bills, like electric bill, the cable bill. You can go anywhere Visa is accepted. I mean, it really is like a Visa card. It's a debit card. And it works similar to, I never had a bunch of credit cards back in the day, but it works similar. You get bonuses and rewards. Oh, and it's metal. It's like literally metal. Like you can, like this is a magnet. See, it's not sticky at all. Like sticks to it. Blaine and I, where I weighed it. Blaine bought, he's like more ripped than me, but he buys a scale. He bought a scale and he weighs everything. So I decided to weigh this thing. This card weighs 0.6 ounces. So I weighed a regular card and it weighs like 0.2 ounces. So the card is literally metal and it literally weighs 3 times as much within the exact same footprint. So anyways, there are people who will explain this a lot better than can I. In fact, I'm going to include a couple links in the description. One guy's name is, what's his name? Charlie Moon, YouTuber. I think it's Charlie Moon. Anyway, he explains it really well. But I'd already known how this works even before I got it. But the reason I couldn't get it, the reason I've had to wait so long, is because you live in a sailboat. They didn't acknowledge where I lived. They wouldn't send it. I couldn't update where I live because of all the other mess, and it's a long story I'm not going to bore you with. But finally, now that I'm in this little shack and I'm officially a Floridian, and I officially have the title to my little car, which, by the way, I bought with the mere profits that I made by taking profits off my initial investment that I made about 2 years ago. I've got it all in my name, and you have to take pictures of it and send it to them, and before they'll even consider it. And then because they're really, really, really strict about it. But once you're in, you're in. And if it gets stolen, you just simply get on your phone and just go immediately to the app, and there's a freeze button. Beep, you freeze it, and anybody that gets it, they can't do anything with it other than, ooh and ah how cool it is. They can't spend any of your money. If you travel overseas with it, there's a little radio button. You click on it, and you can say, hey, it's really me over here in England, which I'm trying to get to. You can spend it overseas that way. But anyways, I like it. I think it's cool as hell. I think the whole blockchain thing is the wave of the future. It's no matter what you think of crypto, it doesn't really matter because crypto doesn't care. It's going to keep growing and growing, and Bitcoin always goes up. And I'll give you a horror story. In 2015, I had about three plus Bitcoins, and most of those were donated to me way back into the Parker days. Like they'd give me half a Bitcoin or something, but back then Bitcoin was only worth like $10. So they give me half a Bitcoin or maybe $20. I don't know, $20. They give me half a Bitcoin is worth $10. I was like, it's not life-changing money, but hey, thanks. And in 2015, Bitcoin had its first or modern big, it went way up and then it came back down. But anyways, it always goes in those cycles. And I sold 3 Bitcoin for $750. True story. Ask the boys. We were in Bronig Lake RV Park there in just south of San Antonio. And that paid my rent and gave me about $200 left over to buy gas and back then beer. And now those same 3 Bitcoin's about 40,000 right now, worth about $120,000. So you can only imagine how hard I've kicked myself over and over and over for selling those for peanuts. Which is why I don't sell it anymore. I collect it. If you're new to this, I'm what they call a hodler, HODL. And if you want to get really into it as to why instead of holding, they call it hodling, I'll just give a brief synopsis. There's a famous early crypto adopter, Bitcoin guy. I can't even remember his name now. But he was drunk one night and he was writing out or typing out a letter as to why he's going to hold his Bitcoin. And on all the other investors saying it was getting up to $5 because he bought it when it was like a penny. And it's getting up to $5. And he goes, I'm not going to sell. I'm going to hodl it. And he kept putting in there hodl. And so now, #hodl, when you see that, it just means you believe in this so much that because it's damn near foolproof that you just hold it. And I've not sold any Bitcoin ever since. Occasionally, I'll sell some of my altcoins, but that's part of their ecosystem. Crypto.com's own ecosystem is the more people who are in it and use it. You have to, in order to get this is the cheap one. There's one cheaper, it's plastic, but this is the cheapest metal card you can get. You had to stake like $400 worth of CRO or Chrono, also known as Chronos. So I just staked the 400. I held it for 6 months. I finally got my address all correct, and they were finally satisfied that I really am who I am. who I say I am, and they sent me the card. And so I'm going to keep spending it. And I think every week they pay out in rewards. You get 2% for everything. I can go to an ATM. I can plug it in there. I can get up to, for this low of a card, I can get like $400 cash per month without any fees. You can get as much as you want, as much as you've got, but they charge like, I don't know, 2% or something. But you can get blue cards and white cards and the Obsidian Black card, which you got with Obsidian Black. It's like crazy. You got to stake like $500,000 worth or something, which I obviously don't have. But I think this will pay for this lowest one. The lowest on the steel cards or the metal cards is they do also they'll pay my Spotify bill. You can pay any of your bills, but they actually fund your Spotify. You just type in this number through your Spotify and they pay it's like $13 or something. But anyways, I'm going to have a link to my account with crypto.com. And if you sign up there, which you don't have to, but I think it'd be really awesome if you did. I get like $25 and you get like $25. Hayden got $25 worth of it back in. Y'all remember that video I made where I was showing how fat I was? Back in August of 2021, I was 221 pounds. I signed Hayden up through my account, and he was still like, I kind of get it, but I kind of don't. So, yeah, what the hell? It doesn't cost me anything, so he signed up. Well, he got like 155 CRO. Back then, that was, I don't know, I think CRO was like 17 cents back then, something like that. But it got up almost to $1, and he called me back before he came here and before it went down. Just like, damn, Dad, that $25 or $50, whatever it was, they changed it. It was like worth $150, or damn near $150. So, anyways, if you want to use my link down there, and once you go through the steps and set up your own account, you get the $25 worth of CRO. And I get the $25 or CR for you signing up. It's just a little ecosystem, a little to boot. So, this is the package that it comes in. Thought it was really cool. It actually comes in a plain white letter, I guess to keep the thieves away, which wouldn't matter because you have to activate it through your app. And you can only access your app if you know your own passcodes. There's like lots of stop checks. But it comes in there and you get this little thing like this, and it looks like my own personal Hogwarts letter. This is the closest thing I've ever had to getting my Hogwarts letter. I've been waiting 2 years for this, and I finally got it. I've had this for a while. I'm going to take this to Charday if I can ever make it over there. See my little Hedwig coffee mug? Isn't she so cute? I just love Hedwig. So, anyways, well, that's about all I wanted to discuss. I was going to be doing interviews with people. That turned out to be way harder to schedule than I thought, and it was way more effort. And come to find out, most people want either me to tell their story, or they want to be really, really, really anonymous. They want to talk about it, but they don't want to give their last name. And they want to, if you do talk to them, because they want to give emails or that, or it just, I had high hopes that more people would just say, fuck it. You know, here's who I am. Here I'm going to talk about what the crooks are doing to me. But I also understand why people are scared because, well, hell, let's face it, who wants to end up broke as shit and thrown in jail for 60 days like me for simply speaking up and being a good parent? Not a lot of people. But anyways, I haven't made a lot of videos lately. I don't know when my next one's going to be. I'm not really going to be doing the interviews with people just because it never fails. When I'm ready to record, they aren't, and vice versa. Or most people are just way too like scared. It sounds like a good idea. They want to get out there and, you know, hold up protest signs and talk about scumbag judges like Judge Rex who threw me in jail, or Judge Whalen who stole Parker from me. But They just don't want to. I guess it's just too risky. But anyway, I'm not going to be doing that anymore. I suppose occasionally, if it just happens to work out, ooh, that hurt. Yeah, I might. What other updates? That's about it, really. The boat sold. I always heard the greatest days of owning a boat are the day you buy it and the day you sell it. Now I know why, because I've actually gone through the process of both. I absolutely loved the day I bought it, and I loved the day I sold it. And as soon as I get paid for that job in Orlando, guess where all that cash is going to go? Yep, right here. And I'm going to start paying all my bills on it and enjoy it. And because, let's face it, this crypto market is still relatively new. It is going to, over time, get bigger and bigger and bigger. Right now, I think the overall crypto market is about $3 trillion, of which Bitcoin is the granddaddy. The OG, it's worth about, it fluctuates, but it's about $1 trillion. And compare that to the, I don't know, 300 trillion dollars that are actually existing in the world. It's like a very small fraction. But as the big whales get on board, as the group investors start buying up more and more, and as the halvings happen, we've just had a halving. If you don't know what halving is, I might include a link there. Halving's about every 4 years. The amount of Bitcoin from the miners, what they mine through their computers, gets cut in half about every 4 years. I think it's 3 years and 10 months or something. So it makes it more scarce. There can only be 21 million Bitcoins ever minted, period. End of story. No matter what your doomsday friends say, that somebody could just print some more Bitcoin. I'll make a deal with you. If you can actually prove and print a Bitcoin or make a fake Bitcoin, counterfeit a Bitcoin, and prove it, you have to prove it on the blockchain. If you can prove that you can do it, I will personally hand over my debit card and all of my passwords to all of my crypto if anybody can prove to me that they, through the blockchain, counterfeited a Bitcoin. You can't do it. It's impossible. That's how confident I and so many others are. It's impossible. You can't do it. And if that doesn't make sense to you, then you're, not to sound mean, but you're simply ignorant of it. And your friends who are shitting on Bitcoin constantly saying it's something that it's not, they are simply listening to the Peter Schiffs of the world who just simply don't know. Either Peter Schiff is genuinely, and I like Peter Schiff. He's a brilliant economist to a fault, to a point, when he starts crapping on Bitcoin. He's either really dumb or he's being paid to shit on Bitcoin. I can't figure out which one it is. I've actually met the guy. I saw him speak at Paul Fest in Georgia back in 2011 or 12. He's a smart guy, so I find it hard to believe he's that dense about Bitcoin. If you ever watch him and his son on Twitter go back and forth, his son's a big Bitcoin kid. And it's funny to watch him go back and forth. So it only leads me to believe he's only saying shit about Bitcoin simply because he's getting paid to shit on Bitcoin. So that only tells me if they're willing to pay big economists like that to not talk about it. You got the billionaires. I just posted something on my Facebook page. Yes, I'm back on Facebook reluctantly about the billionaires that are shitting on Bitcoin. Well, why would a billionaire even care to say anything bad other than it's a threat to them? Anyways, I'm going to hush. So if you would like to sign up and get your 25 or 50 bucks, whatever they offer through my link, great. I'll get to fit the same 50 or 25. If not, that's okay too. I really don't care. I've made my investment and I'm happy with my investment, and I'm just going to keep hodling. I'm going to keep putting in little by little, and I'm going to keep getting my rewards that the card pays off in CRO tokens. And like I said, CRO, it's down to like 39 cents at the moment. It's been as high as almost $1. And if you watch the Super Bowl, which I did not, you'll have seen that this little emblem right here, crypto.com, they did a They had a few commercials. It's like it's getting that mainstream. So if you'd like to sign up and start building your own ecosystem, great. I'll benefit too. And if not, that's okay too. It's no skin off my back. Crypto is going to grow whether you hate it or not, whether your grandma doesn't like it or not. It doesn't care because it's a store of assets. So anyways, I'm out till the next one. Y'all be good. Stop hitting your kids. Jesus. I see so many people still think this. Ugh. Stop hitting your kids.